Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for, what is today? August 4th, 2019. So I'm trying to get back on track and do these once a week, because that seems to work for me on remembering what I read and if I liked it or not. No, I'm kidding. Or remembering more details. So anyway, I'm trying to get back on track on that because I've been a little off this month. That's fine. So I did just put up my the Reading Rush wrap up for the week before last, so because I did not do an update on that, so that is up, and I did fairly well for the Reading Rush, which I'm pleased with what I got done. It would have been nicer if I got more done, but things happen. This week was well, I've read a few things, and I'm not sure on a few things, and then I have no idea what I'm reading the next week. And I think it's just my mood, just because emotionally things are going on right now, and dealing with that, and then work has been really busy, and it's really hot here today, and well, it's going to be like 95, and yeah, I don't live in California anymore. I don't really like the hot weather. I never liked it when I had to live there either, so whatever. So I'm gonna go through the books that I finished this week, and then the ones that I'm in the middle of. Things are happening, or I'm not sure what's gonna happen, and then what I think I'm gonna pick up in this next week, but I don't know. That's why there's so many choices. So the first thing I finished was my last finish for Jane Austen July, and that was Jane Austen's Lady Susan, The Watsons, and Sanditon. And again, this is her novella. Lady Susan is a novella written in letters. The Watsons is an unfinished work from her period when she lived in Bath, and Sedition was the novel she started the year that she passed away. So the second two are unfinished. They are not super long. I know one of them was 17,000 words. I think maybe the Watsons was. I don't remember how long Sanditon is, but it's not super long either. It's probably, I would say, probably close to the same. So she didn't get too far into them when she would, well, she abandoned the middle one and the Watsons. Overall, I am so glad I finally got to these. These were the last fiction of Jane Austen that I had to read. I bought this book last year, I think, and I just didn't, I read other things for Jane Austen July, so I think I bought this either after or right at the end of Jane Austen July. I don't remember last year. But I'm glad. I knew I was going to finish it this year. I kind of waited till the last of the month. I don't know why. But I'm glad I read it. It was very interesting to see a novella from her early period, a book that would have been in her middle period, and then something at the very end. And it's very different styles, written very differently. Again, she's one of those authors that you just want to know what would have happened if she got to live another 40, 50 years and what she would have produced. Because, I mean, all these were fascinating in their own right. There were, like, Lady Susan is not my style, but it was fun. Like, I enjoyed it, and I had no idea which way it was going to go and the things that happened in that. The Watsons, I wanted to know how it was all going to go together, because this one we actually know kind of from her sister Cassandra told us in a letter to somebody or in some note somewhere that of what was supposed to happen. So I would love to have seen how that worked out. And then we don't really know for sure on Sanditon how it was supposed to go, which is why I don't know why there's a movie coming out. And I saw the trailer, and I don't understand half of that. Like, I'm like, where did you get that? So someone's imagination is rampant in that one. Anyway, so I'm probably still gonna watch it, but it's still funny. Anyway, so overall, this was a fantastic read. This was a 5-star for me because it was Jane Austen, probably. But again, I don't love all Jane Austen stuff. Like, again, I am one of the few people who read Emma once, and I really don't ever want to read it again. It's just not my taste. And I have this feeling that I really should. I don't want to. And Northanger Abbey was okay, you know. And the other ones I all fairly like. I'm going to reread Mansfield Park next year, I believe, so that I can see how that in my ranking anymore. But I really enjoyed these, and again, they were short. I mean, all three of them together were less than 200 pages. So, and the notes were really good in this, and I mean, there weren't many for Lady Susan, but the introduction was really good on talking about things. I really enjoyed this. Anyway, this was a really good edition of that. So, of all those, so Anyway, yes, I like that. You can tell I just rambled about it forever. So okay, I'll show you the last book that I picked up for Jane Austen July, and then I've abandoned it at this moment. So here we go. So I did pick up Austenland by Shannon Hale. I picked this up at the very tail end of the reading rush because I picked it up from the library after hearing about it, and then that night I couldn't focus on Sanditon. So I read a couple pages of this, and then Monday I was super into this. Like I would say the first 30 or 40 pages, I loved this. Like, just loved it. I was excited. I was like going, this is way too cool. Like, the whole premise of it, and it was hilarious because I figured out that I was the same age as the main character when this book came out, which was in 2007. And I was like, when you figure out the math, yeah, okay, well, you don't need to do that. Anyway, the point is that it was like all these little things, like, now I'm not obsessed like she is, or I'm not even actually ashamed that I love Jane Austen, or, you know, the BBC, Mr. Darcy. But the point is that she gets a trip to, her great aunt leaves in her will that she gets to go to this place that kind of recreates Jane Austen's time, and so it's kind of like her books come to life, and people go there to this resort to immerse themselves in Austenland. So I really enjoyed it up until page 60. And then the main character did something, I'm like, I don't know about that. And then it just kind of keeps continuing. So I'm at page 75. I'm not happy right now. I don't know if I want to continue reading this. So I did get the DVD from the library. I have so many people telling me that the movie is awesome. So I am going to watch it this week. And then if the movie, this is like one of the few times that I want to watch the movie before finishing the book. I need to know if it's worth it for me to continue reading. Right now, I don't feel it because the last 10 pages were really hard for me to read. I kept putting it on the couch going, no, because I'm reacting violently to this. I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. I'm like, no, don't do that. And anyway. Anyway, I don't know how to explain that. Point is I'm going to watch the movie hopefully this week sometime when I have time. And if I really enjoy the movie, then I'll try to force through the book to get past the part that, and maybe because then it'll spoil me for the book, but I just can't get past it now. This would be a DNF right now if I didn't have the movie to watch. So we're going to see. So I don't know if anybody has read the book and watched the movie, if you felt the same, or if I'm just being nitpicky, I don't know. But I don't want to tell you what it is that happens, except that it's like a kind of reality bubble burster. That's what she does. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if that made sense either. Never mind. Point is I'm going to watch the movie and see what happens. So that book is kind of on hold. So I switched to a library book that I got at the end of June. I think I saw this on Mara, Books Like Whoa. I think I saw it on her channel. One of the books. I think it was a farther along the series of this book. And this is Solace Island by Meg Tilly. I picked this up because I wanted to read it for Romance Summer Bingo. And I mean, a lot of my books actually I can use for it. I haven't actually done the, to check how many of the Jane Austen Julys matched up yet. So I have to go through that. But this is like a suspense, light suspense, I would say, romance. It takes place up in Seattle area, well, on one of the islands up there. So I'm sure there's another term. The island is called Solace Island. Anyway, but the point is, it was really cool. It was about a woman who, I'm not explaining this good, sorry. So she and her fiance broke up the day before, or he broke off the wedding the night before the wedding, and it was a major hassle, and major horrible thing. So she had to take care of everything about canceling everything because he didn't do anything. And so then she found out that he took another woman on the honeymoon. So she kind of pretty much said they had started a business together. So she pretty much said he had to buy her 60% in the company, or she was going to sell it to another company that was interested in it. And they were in construction. So she leaves because her older sister decides, you need a vacation, let's get out. So she leaves Phoenix and goes up to Washington and to this island for a vacation, 3-week vacation with her sister Eve. And things don't go the way that she thinks they were. Of course, there is a love interest, which I really liked. Luke was I really liked him, and he had his own backstory and bad things relationship-wise that had it. So they connected that way. It doesn't really get, if you're looking for like super suspenseful, this doesn't really kick off until midway through the book. It tells you in the back that something happens, and then it doesn't happen for half of the book. So the thing to know about this is that she's she's coming out of a really bad relationship. She meets this guy while she's on vacation, and her sister are trying to decide what they want to do with their lives, kind of thing. Because her sister isn't happy where she is either. So I think I love the sisters together. I like the relationship with the love interest Luke, although it might be a little insta-lovey, or insta-lust, I guess. But other than that, it's not like they act on it like instantly. There's a lot of thoughts, like that kind of thing. They're short chapters. They're really easy to read. It was a fast read. I read this in 2 days, and it was, it was super fast. So, but I had this from my library for over a month because I got it at the end of June, and then I didn't have time. I was wrapping up other stuff, and then I got Jane Austen July, and that was all in my brain. And then the reading rush, I didn't fit this in because I had all the other Jane Austen July stuff I wanted to read. And so I knew I was going to read this at the beginning of August, and to still make it for summer book bingo, or romance summer book. I don't know which terms they are. Sarah at Steeped in Books is running that, and it's really cool. And I need to, again, read more. But I already bought a copy of this. It's coming in the mail. And I bought the second book, and the third book is coming out in October. So if I read the second book this month, then I'll pre-order the third book. They're just fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know if I explained that all, or I don't know. I'll have to, well, anyway, we'll see. So, and then another book I finished last night was Book Love by Debbie Tung. And this is a cute comics about a woman and her love of books and reading and what readers have to go through and stuff. I've seen these online for years. And so I just saw that there was an actual book on I think Instagram. I saw somebody had a picture of this. So I thought, oh, I'll just get it from the library. Well, I got it. So it was really cute. If it wasn't so expensive, I'd probably buy one. Hey, cat! My cat is scratching on my chair. Hey! Anyway, but this was really cute, especially if you're a book lover. It just makes a whole lot of sense. There's only a few times I'm like, well, maybe not that one, but almost everything else was so, I totally understood. So this is really cute from the library. So anyway, and then I picked up, because on Friday night after I finished Soulless Island, and I really wanted to read the second book, but I was going to wait for the copy to show up. So I have this whole stack of books on my TBR that I just put up that I should have read instead, but I didn't feel like getting up to go get the books. So I looked at my Kindle, or on my iPad on my Kindle app, and what I was going to read next that I had it. And I forgot I was going to read the next book in the Spindle Co. series by Tessa Dare. This is A Week to Be Wicked, and this is, yeah, book 2. So I've read book 1 and then 1.5, the one in the middle, and then so this is the next book to read, and it follows Minerva and Colin. Colin is a rake, but he has, like, PTSD issues and things, and then she wants to be a geologist. And again, this takes place in the early 1800s, I think. I'm pretty sure that's the time period. Yeah, because they were just talking about Napoleon. Yeah, so so she's really funny. She's like the little bookish one, and he's like, the rake. Anyway, so they're hatching a plan to kind of get them out of his financial problems and her wanting to go to this geology convention in Edinburgh, and I think they're gonna run off together, and then I'm not sure how that's all gonna work out. But I've only read about 65 pages, so I just started that. So I will probably continue reading that today. So that brings me to what do I pick up after that? I mean, it matters if I watch Austen Land and decide to finish the other book, but I'm trying to decide what books to pick up next. I'm pretty sure I'm going to, after I finish that, I'm going to read my pages for Let the Great World Spin by Colin McCann. Again, I'm reading this with Joe Smith, who most of you know is a commenter. And did I say that right? Commenter. Sorry, my brain. Anyway, so I'm hoping to start that. It might not be today, it might be tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow to read those. So, and again, I have like 73 pages to read in that. So, but that's my hope for that. And again, that's 1974 New York and the people in that area and time. So I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to pick up, at least to read that section. I am going to start the audiobook for Helter Skelter tomorrow. Again, this is The True Story of the Manson Murders by Vincent Velagosi and Kurt Gentry. This is my 4th time to read this book, but I'm going to do it on audio this time. I've read it, I mean, I've read it many times, or a couple times, you know. So, and I just bought this new copy for it because mine was falling apart. Well, it's not too bad. It's just, it's really old. So, but I do want to, listen to it this time around. So I'm going to make this my primary audio book. And I know that I have other audiobook things that, like The Calculating Stars and The Witchwood Crown, but I think my goal this whole year has been to read this during start this week because, the, murders happened in early August. And I thought it was the 8th and 9th. Maybe it starts on the 9th and 10th then. So I think. So anyway, so I'm looking forward to that reread. I mean, it's been a long time. And I haven't read as much true crime in the last few years. And I just feel like there's a couple this one I want to read, and there's another one I want to reread, hopefully this year, Small Sacrifices by Anne Rule, but yeah, that's some other time. We'll see what happens. But then physically, after I finish my pages for the week, on Let the Great World Spin, I think I'm going to pick up The Witchwood Crown by Tad Williams and reread now physically, at least for a while. Because again, I said I want to switch my audiobook to the Helter Skelter. And the audiobook is great on this, but because this is a reread, I don't feel like I have to read all the pages. Does that make sense? Because I have read this before. I was just mostly reading it again to get ready for Empire of Grass. So I don't have to read everything. So we'll see. I mean, I might slow down, or I might just reread what I want to reread kind of thing, and I don't have to read the whole thing. But I don't know. I probably will read the whole thing. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm probably sure I'm just going to read it straight out. So, and that's kind of it. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. I'm not quite sure. That's kind of my plans. Anyway, so I've rambled here again. Quite long. So, how are your guys' reading going? I did okay after the reading rush, but again, I said I was very emotionally, up and down for that week, or this last week, so, that's why my reading looks like it's kind of weird. And I don't know if I'm going to read a whole lot of this stuff this week. We'll just see what I do. I'm not making solid plans. Like, as you can see, I'm kind of going, I'm going to let myself, my mood kind of let it go, you know, because I also have a couple other books that I would like to get to. I still want to pick up a Woman in Translation book. And that could be next if I feel like that. Or I still have Barchester Towers by Anthony Trollope that I want to finish. So anyway, that's it. So anyway, let me know what you guys are reading, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.